Okay, so good afternoon. First, can you see me and can you hear me? Just a little feedback from you. Yes. Is the sound effect okay for you? Yes. Okay. I think that nobody has a problem with the sound. Okay. So good afternoon. Welcome to my webinar. My name is Judita Tothová. I work for Ventures Book as an ELT consultant. And today I'm going to have a webinar seminar with you on a topic, fun with grammar. Before we start, I hope that you had a delicious lunch and you are full of energy and ready to spend 3 hours with us. And if you will stay with us, with me today till the end of the seminar, you can participate in a quiz and you can win a nice prize. I won't tell you the prize, but just one information that the prize won't be the same that you could win yesterday. And after the webinar, of our book, Why the Word, most of the exercises and ideas I'm going to show to you I use from the book. So again, the name of the book is Why the Word. So if you don't have any questions and everything works properly, I think that we can start. Learning grammar does not only have to be about learning grammar rules, but I think that it can also be a creative and entertaining activity. In the seminar, I would like to give you some ideas or tips on how to teach students to communicate and using grammar structure, and consequently overcome the prejudices that the concept of grammar entails. So now let's have a look at the content. What is my webinar going to be about? The first 2 points seem to be a little bit theoretical, but don't worry. I will try to talk about these 2 points in a short way, so briefly. And I would like to focus on the activities that might be useful and interesting for your students in the classroom. And as I told you at the end of the webinar, we are going to have a quiz. I have prepared 2 questions for you, and you can win nice prizes. So let's start with a joke or some jokes. Do you like jokes? Do you like jokes? Yes, yes. Are you good at telling jokes, or you are just a listener when somebody is telling a joke? Because I'm just a listener, but I like jokes. And what about English jokes? Do you know an English joke? No, nobody knows English jokes? No? Okay. So I have prepared 4 typical grammar, so typical English grammar jokes for you. Let's have a look at the first. It is about apostrophe. Okay, I think that something is happening. Can you see me? Can you see me or hear me? Can you see me? Sorry. Okay. So I am here again. Good. So the first joke, maybe you could see it, okay, because I uncovered it. It is about apostrophe, a question mark, and exclamation mark are talking in a bar, and they are talking about the apostrophe. So let's have a look at the joke again. I never date another apostrophe.
However, I'm sorry, it looks like Judita lost internet connection, so we have to wait until she's back. I saw that you have a question about the chat notification noise. You can turn off these notifications by clicking a ring button, a button with a ring on it. It's on the right side above the screen, above me. So you can turn it off there. I hope Judita will be back soon.
Okay, so I am here again. Okay, I am back. Okay, so sorry for this technical problem. Okay, so the first joke is about apostrophe. Okay, and pronunciation and punctuation and spelling mistake can sometimes get you into funny situation. So now let's have a look at grammarians who are in the garden now and they are grilling. So let's have a look at them. What is happening? Well done, or well done. So another typical English joke. And I have two more, if you are interested in it. The next one about punctuation. So the right punctuation can save people's life. Let's eat grandma. What? Let's eat grandma. And the last one. Oh, sorry. Oh. Now, I would like to ask you for a little help because my question is, or the first task for you is just to think about the past tense of the word William or name William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare. What do you think? What is the past tense of the name William Shakespeare? Think a little bit in a grammar way. So Shakespeare. Okay, but William, think about the first name too. Ah, okay. Yes. Would I was Shakespeare. Excellent. So, okay, sorry, you are so quick that I can't read the name. Who is the first person who just guessed the right past tense? So, yes, the past tense of William Shakespeare is would I was Shakespeare. Did you like my grammar jokes? What do you think about them and using grammar jokes in the lesson? Is it a good idea to use grammar jokes in the lesson? What do you think? Yes. And then, what do you think when it is a good idea to use grammar jokes? At the beginning of the lesson or maybe at the end of the lesson? What do you think? Any ideas at the end? Okay, or at the start, yes. Jokes can be like warm-up exercises just to make the lesson more interesting. Okay, and now I think that I will stop talking about English jokes and start talking a little bit more serious way about grammar, as you could see in the slide. What do you think about grammar? The word itself, grammar. You are teachers and you use these words, so you have to teach grammar at school. So what does grammar mean to you and to your students? Just very, very briefly, your ideas. What is grammar about? Rules, yes, rules. What else? Grammar rules, mostly grammar rules. Okay. Grammar rules. I hate it, yes. Not just you, I think that a lot of students hate grammar, practice, exercises, drill, okay, rules. But the student is just something bad, yes. Okay. Regular exercises. Okay, nice idea. According to dictionaries, I had chosen Collins, Oxford, and Cambridge dictionaries. The grammar is really a very complicated thing. You mean it is not just a system of rules, but it is also syntax, morphology, phonology, semantics. So really, really very complicated activity when we try to teach students grammar rules. Anyway, one thing I have just thinking about, have you ever thought about the connection between the word grammar and grammar school? Because we use the compound noun grammar school. What do you think? What is the connection between grammar and grammar school? Have you ever heard about it? A little history? Any ideas? Why is grammar school called grammar school? Or secondary school? What type of secondary school? Ah, Angela is near to the answer. Yes, in the past, I think that it was in the 14th century, there were Latin schools, and the schools taught mostly Latin language, and you know that Latin has a very complicated grammar. So students had a lot of lessons about grammar. Later on, the school, I mean the name of school, Latin school, was changed, and the schools started just to call grammar school because they add some new subjects into the curriculum. So they started teaching geography, history, and other subjects. And it is the same today. So we use grammar school because at gymnasium we teach not just languages, but other subjects as well. Okay, excellent. Okay, now go back to the webinar. Grammar seems to be that really is a very complicated activity to teach, and a very complicated activity or just to learn it. But we know that teaching grammar is an essential part of our education. So we must teach grammar. Without good grammar, spoken and written words lose much of their meanings and value. My question is there an approach or just a strategy that you recommend that it is the best? So how to teach grammar? How to teach grammar? Which approach is the best to use? Combination, yes. Communicative, yes. Communicative way, more than one, yes, excellent. Communicative way, mix, okay. Yes, I agree with you that we have to combine a lot of approaches. Today, I would like to focus on, or just touch on very briefly, the two main approaches to teaching grammar. The first one is, or one of them is deductive. I think that you use these two approaches. I know that you because I used it or use it as a teacher as well. So deductive, rule-driven approach, and inductive discovery approach. Now let's have a look very, very briefly. Have a look at the deductive approach. You can see all the concept of the deductive approach. We we can use also the term rule-driven rule or top-down. It is an informal name for deductive approach. What is this approach about? The teacher explains first at the beginning of the lesson, explains the rules. It starts usually with forms. So, for example, when you teach present simple, you tell the student that there is S ending in the third person. Then you talk about usage of the rule. And then after this explanation, after your explanation, you give a chance to practice. First, it is a controlled type of practice. You can see in exercise 5 that the students have to practice the rule. Usually we use this complete the sentences or gap filling type of exercises. And at the end of the lesson, we give a little bit freer chance to students just to practice the grammar rules. You can see one example in exercise 6. For example, it is a group work, and the students have to use, first of all, form the right adverbs, and then use using sentences. They can just make a short conversation with partners. So it is a kind of freer practice. The triangle you can see with this PP or presentation practice production. It means that our or majority of our course book really is structured that way. So we start presentation, then students practice and product. So practice in a little bit more or freer way. We know that everything has its cons and pros. So everything has advantages and disadvantages. What do you think about the main advantages, the positives about a deductive approach? Why is it good? Why is it a good idea to use a deductive approach? Systematic, yes. Agree. Fast, structured, quick, yes. Well organized, good. What about the time for practicing the rule? Do students have a lot of time or just a little time? Easy to understand, yes, excellent, yes, more motivating, good. A little systematic, okay. Okay. So I just summed up the positives of this approach. So get straight to the point. I agree with you that it is very fast, and for teachers it means that no preparation, because you went to university and you know the grammar rules, so there is no preparation for you. And goes from easier to more difficult. Yes, we discussed the topic, discussed it that first we explain the form, then the usage, and it is controlled. We can, so the students can't do mistakes or just a little mistakes, because teacher gives them, or usually students practice the rule in a controlled way. What about negatives? What about disadvantages of the rule? Disadvantages. Why is it maybe not a very good idea just to use this approach? Boring, yes, boring, repetitive, yes. What about boring? Yes, teacher-centered, yes, teacher-centered. Good, okay, now let's have a look at my sum up. Teacher-centered, good. Uninteresting for students because of lack of grammar terms. Okay, and students are passive listeners. Yes, excellent. Thank you for your help. Now, let's have a look at inductive approach, rule discovery approach, or bottom top. It is an informal name for this inductive approach. So what do the teachers do when they use this approach? First, they give an outcome sample, an example to students. For example, it can be a text. And the student's task is just to figure out the rule. It's more difficult for students because they need time for creating the rule. And but on the other hand, they can communicate, and if they are able to use the language, I mean the terms in English, they can use, why not? And when the students are ready, so the rule is figured out, they should use it in sentences. You can see exercise 2. Okay, for example, the task for students was just to think about the rules about using can and can't. And then the third step in practicing is the same as you could see at the deductive approach, that students practice the rule in a freer way. Okay, and now my question is the same. What about the positives? What about the advantages of this approach? Yes, remember better and longer because the students figure out the rules. It is the result of their work. Yes, it's challenging. Yes, good. Okay, they think. Of course, when they are just trying to figure out the rule, they are using I mean the students some of the 21st century skills. Yes, critical thinking, problem solving, and that kind of things. Okay, let's have a look at my sum up. Okay, students are active, the rules are meaningful, memorable, or as I told you, they practice one of the 21st century skills, problem solving, collaboration, communication, and so on. What about the negatives? What about the negatives? Does this approach have any disadvantages? Time consuming, yes. It needs a very careful planning, good. More time, it means more time for teachers, yes. Might be difficult for lower level, agree, okay? And now let's have a look at my sum up. Needs a lot of time and energy, good planning, and maybe because students don't know the rules, and at the beginning of the lesson you don't help them, maybe they will figure out not the right rule. But you as a teacher can help them because you can just walk in the classroom and just to check what the students are doing. And if you can hear that they are working on a right rule, you can just say that excellent or well done and that kind of comments. Okay, so now my question again, which approach, we discussed this topic, which approach is the best to use? And we know the answer. It depends. It depends on time. It depends on topic. It depends on your students, the students' motivation, the students' mood that then when you are having grammar lesson, for example. According to experts, deductive approach is advisable to use when we teach grammar rules that are full of exceptions. And inductive approach is a good idea to use when the grammar that we are teaching has no exceptions or just a few exceptions. And now, can you give me some ideas, a grammar structure that is recommended to teach using deductive approach? Do you have any ideas? I'm going to help you. For example, if you, yes, okay, article, okay, yes. For example, if you are teaching, for example, do, does, did, making question, which approach is good to use? Okay, so deductive. Inductive, because it's not very difficult. But for example, when you are teaching phrasal verbs, for example, phrasal verbs, okay, definitely deductive. Okay, so now I think that it's enough to talk theoretically, about grammar and approaches. And let's start speaking about something more practical for you. But before I show some activities to you, I would like to ask you just to feel or just to think about students' feelings when they are in the classroom and they are sitting at their tables and the teacher is standing in front of the blackboard, and he or she is saying, "Today we are going to have a grammar lesson." How are they feeling? How are they feeling, the students? How are they feeling? Bored, yes, definitely bored. Bored. Oh no, yes, bored. Okay, you're very quick. Okay, bored. Good. Yes, lazy, unmotivated. Oh, yes, good. Okay. I think that mostly students are thinking about these adjectives, I think. I mean, oh, grammar is difficult. Oh, grammar is boring. Or I think that in many times you can hear the question, what is it? What is the point? Why do we should learn grammar? Okay. And what about your feelings? How do you usually feel when you teach grammar, or just before the lesson start? How do you feel? Sorry. Okay. I have to be excited. Wow. I don't like it. Challenging. God, the students will be dull again. Yes, nice idea. Okay. What about the teacher lady who is in the photo? What do you think? What is she thinking about the grammar lesson or teaching grammar? Excited. Yes. Okay. Let's have a look at her feelings. Challenging, fun, and exciting. Okay. And now let's have a look at some activities, practical activities, how to make your grammar lessons more interesting. I think that the best thing you can do, use a lot of type of activities. So you can use the mechanical exercises, gap filling, complete the sentences type of exercises, but you should also use some other so-called modern type of exercises, because we are in the 21st century. And you have mentioned that you should teach grammar in a communicative way. So let's have a look at some activities that might be really motivating or interesting for your students. I would like to start with one of my favorite activities for students, and they are board games. Do you like board games? I mean, your students. Do your students like board games? She's really into it. I don't mind. They are happy. Yes. Okay. So what do you think? Using board games, is it a difficult process just to prepare for a teacher? Do you need a lot of time for preparation? Do you need a lot of, is it a time-consuming activity for you? Yes. Yes, of course. No. I think that maybe it is a little bit time-consuming just to find the right board game, but just everything is difficult at the first time, I think. I would like to show some board games I have prepared for my students, and I use the cardboard, yes, and I printed the board game on it, and of course, I had to go to fax copy, and I have this board game. I think you can see it, just laminated, but it was the first time, and now I can use it many, many times. When you are playing board games, you also need some counters. I usually use the normal plastic figures, but I also use, for example, paper clips. Okay, paper clips, or some buttons. Okay, buttons. Or I found a little gadget. I don't know what is it used for, but it is made of wood and it's colorful, and I can also use use it or them in the classroom as counter. Okay, and now let's have a look at some board games I have prepared. The first you can see is about preposition. Just my one information for you, that every board game I'm going to show to you, you can use with younger teenager or maybe older teenager. The only thing that you have to change the content. So, for example, this game can be used with or played by younger teenagers, and the task for them is just to combine the right proposition with the word. For example, 5 o'clock, they should combine it at 5 o'clock, or just match a few days and so on. But when this board game is played by older teenagers, so you can ask them to make sentences. You know that every board game has a set of rules, but you can set your own rules. And I know a lot of teachers who are very creative, and I know that you are creative too, and you can set maybe new rules for playing the game. The next game is about conjunctions. So the task for students, again, just using the conjunction, they have to make, so use the conjunction in sentences. Another 2 more games. The third one is when you teach, or when we practice present perfect. The task for students is just answer the question, have you ever been to another content? But as I told you, you can add your own set of rules. I usually give not just one task for students, but the second one is usually that they have to talk about talk about the topic and just make a pair work, maybe form 2 questions, 2 answers, to make it more meaningful. And the last one is similar to the third one. It is when it can be used when you teach, for example, relative clause, and the idea is the same. So I think that it's all about the board game. The second category I love using is using photos. For me, using photos, it is like getting fresh air. So let fresh air get into the room type of feeling. You can see 2 photos in the slide. The first photo is a class photo. So everybody knows everybody in the photo. What do you think? When can you use this class photo in the classroom for practicing which grammar structure? Do you have any ideas? Which grammar structure can be practiced using a class photo? Because yes, there are. Everybody knows everybody. Yes. Present continuous, prepositions. Yes, for example, the lady who is wearing a pink, I don't know what is it, top and trousers is maybe Sandra. So Sandra is standing in front of or behind type of sentences can be formed. Okay, and what about the second? What about the second picture? Do you have any ideas? the second, where the ladies are one of the ladies is sitting and the ladies are chatting and drinking coffee. Sorry, but I can't see your chat. I don't know, something is happening. I can't see your answers. Okay, so now present continues, okay. And not just, you can use not just grammar structures, but you can also practice vocabulary, okay, description of the room, description of I don't know, the ladies, I mean, physical appearance, or description of food, or talk about the food. Okay. So the photos can be used for practicing prepositions, adjectives, grammar tenses, and of course, vocabulary. Indirect speech, okay, storytelling, yes, clever ideas. Sorry, but sometimes I can't see your chat box, so that's why I am not in contact with you, so I don't know what you are writing and talking about. Sorry. Okay, but now everything is okay. Now I've prepared a little exercise, a very easy exercise for you. You can see 3 pictures and some words, some adjectives. The task for students is just practice comparison of the adjectives using the photos. You can make this activity a little bit more competitive for students just by saying that, okay, students, you have just 1 minute to write sentences using the words and the photos, and making sentences using comparison. So do you have any ideas what sentences can the students write and using comparison and photos? Okay, so try to think about the sentence. So I'm going to help you. For example, the phone in the picture A is less modern than the mobile phone in the photo C, for example. Yes, yes, C is older than, compare, yes, excellent, good. Okay, let's go on. And another great activity when you can use photos, it is called inquisitive mind. In the corner, you can see a detective, Sherlock Holmes. So let students be a little detective. And now let's have a look at exercise. First, you should ask students to bring a photo to school. The photo can be about a holiday, about their favorite food, about their pets, about their favorite gadgets, about anything. And the first step when the students have the photo at school, just to mix the photos and to stick somewhere on a notice board, for example. And the task for them is asking question. They have to find out who is the owner of the photo. And in this activity, you can, for example, practice present perfect or maybe past tense. And again, as I told you, that it is just one set of rules that use question or form question, ask question, and find out the owner. You can also tell the students, okay, make longer conversation about the person. Okay, so experience is the photo. Next. I like this activity when I am teaching modal verbs. It's a great activity. It's very short. It's controlled activity and interesting for them. It is not just about repetition of the grammar rules, should, must, and so on. You know that when we teach modal verbs, it is sometimes very confusing for students and difficult. Mustn't, needn't, you know these words. So let's make the activity a little bit more interesting for them, using, for example, the pictures or photos. What is the task for them? First, they have to think about the photo. So they should write down. It can be, for example, a pair work or group work. They should write down what is happening in the picture using a modal verb. For example, we shouldn't eat pizza in the bed or lying on the bed, okay, but we should, and they have to give the another sentence, or just form another sentence, what is right about the photo. So we should eat pizza in the kitchen. What do you think about the activity? Is it a good idea to use photos? That kind of photos? Great. Yes, I know that sometimes it is difficult to find the right photo. For example, the socks on the table. It needs time, but as I told you, everything is just the first time, and if you have prepared that kind of photos, you can use it. You use it maybe next year when you will teach the same grammar structure. Okay, let's have a look at another activity. The activity I'm going to show to you is a very interesting activity and motivating for students, because they not just practicing the structure she's going to be or he's going to be, so future tense and time close can be practiced as well, but they have to think about the person who is in the photo. But you have to give the clue that the person that they can see in the photo is a celebrity, so a famous person. So what do you think about the person? Who is the person in the photo? And now my question is, what is she going to be when she grows up? Do you have any idea? Do you have any ideas? Actress, okay, actor, actress, good, singer, yeah, okay, Britney Spears, wow. I don't agree with you, it's not Britney Spears. Do you have any ideas who is in the photo? Singer, doctor? No? Okay, I'm going to show it to you. Ah, Angelina Jolie. Good. The second one. Okay, what about this person? So what is she going to be when she grows up? No, it's not me, no. Okay, model, teacher, wow. Actress, okay, you are closer to this. Okay, the person is... Ah, singer, okay, singer, celebrity. And the last one, it will be very easy for boys, I think, especially for Slovak boys. Okay, who is the person? Maybe you will guess, or they will guess it. Okay, politician. Ooh, politician, no? Oh. Are there any male teachers? Okay, so a football player, but the football player is not Škrtel, but he is Hamšík. Yes, Jana Čavoš. Congratulations. Good, nice. Let's go on and talk about the guessing games. I like using this activity when I teach superlative adjectives. So the first step you should do is prepare a sheet of paper with some words you can see in the slide, and the student's task is just to describe the verbs using superlatives. For example, diamond is any ideas? But use superlative, the hardest, but what? Okay, you have to use a compound, not combine adjective with noun. The most expensive, but what? Okay, most expensive mineral. Yes, excellent, excellent. Okay, so again, it's a very easy exercise, controlled, interesting, and again, you can make it more competitive for students. Again, you can just say you have 1 minute to write descriptions, and who the group who is ready the first and has written all description, I don't know how many, maybe 10, is the winner. Okay. Yes, you can see the answer. And now you can use crosswords as well as guessing games. For example, this one is when you are teaching present perfect. At the beginning of this activity, the student just answered the question. I mean, have you ever, and find the right words in the right form. So they must think about the past participle put into the question. And later on, when everything is done, they can again just make a short conversation about the questions. So have you ever swum in the Pacific Ocean? Yes, no, if yes, when, where, and so on. Okay. I think that every teacher or everybody has restless students in the classroom. So students who need movement, who maybe get bored very easily. So I recommend to use this game. You can see in the slide, the name is Four Corners game. What is it about? First of all, you have to think about the topic. In my case, we are going to, or in this case, we are going to practice plural. And first you have to put endings into the corners, okay, S, ES, and so on. And then the teacher just say or show words to the students. And of course, you have to give some time to students to think about the right answer. So for example, store, where to go and stand in, which corner, okay, running, yes. So for example, store, okay, stores. So the students have to go to the corner and stand in the corner A. If you teach older teenagers, you can just think about a little bit more difficult activity and using this Four Corners activity. I have prepared exercise for you. You have to use the right preposition in the sentences. This activity can be used when you teach, for example, phrasal verb. Would you like to try this one? So I think that something is happening with, okay, yes, good. So think about the first. I checked my symptoms online. What do you think? Which preposition is the right preposition? I checked my symptoms online. So off, out, yes, excellent, out. What about the second one? I tapped my phone this morning. Okay. Okay, up, right. Okay. Now let's move on. And this is the right answer to the question. So you can use it with your upper secondary students. Question mingle. How this game or exercise is played. Okay, first of all, you have to discuss the topic. First of all, so you have to teach the topic. For example, I have chosen the topic about animals. And then you have to, or you can try this activity, the question mingle activity. It is a little bit complicated because the students first have to prepare this table. in their notebook. So they have to write down the schoolmate's name. At the beginning of this activity, you have to set the rule that, for example, you can ask just 10 students just to guess the word that is stuck to your bag. So the first step, students write the name, the schoolmate's name, then the question that they ask, and the response. And the winner is the person, the student who guesses his or her word that is stuck to his or her bag. It is again a kinesthetic type of activity. I like this one. I usually use it when I teach first conditional. The students are sitting in a circle, or sometimes just we are standing in a circle, and the activity starts with my sentence. So I said the situation: I'm going to have a birthday party near the lake at the weekend. And I continue: if you have a birthday near the lake, you will be annoyed by wasps or mosquitoes. And the next sentence is: if you are annoyed by wasps or mosquitoes, you will start swatting them with your hands. And the students must continue practicing the first conditional, making sentences or forming sentences. And we usually finish this activity when there is a conclusion, or the story ends. Okay, story ends. Sometimes it is a quick activity, sometimes it is a long activity. Try one. I think that it is a very nice and funny activity for them, and motivating. They are active. What about your students' creativity? Are your students creative? Do they like activities where they should be creative? Yes. So you can use this activity. The grammar structure that you are going to practice or with students is future tense. So I will. And the students, or task for students, is to write a short poem, and to make it a little bit difficult for them, you can also practice the position of adverbs. For example, definitely, probably, might. And if you really want to make the activity more difficult for them, you have to tell them that, okay, you can use positive sentences, you can use negative sentences. What do you think about this activity? Can you use this activity in the classroom? Are your students creative enough? Yes. Okay. So try to use this activity. You can prepare this worksheet for them. One is for girls and one is for boys. Yes. Okay. Let's continue. If you want to show just maybe an example to students, you can use maybe the poem I have found online. The lady who is in the photo is really the author of this poem, Jenny Joseph, and she is an English, or was an English poet. I think that she died 2 years ago, but I'm not sure. Okay. The last activity, in this category, is when you can. Oh, sorry, no. So this activity is about revision of vocabulary, revision of topic, different topics, and revision of different tenses. What is the task for students? First of all, you have to set the topic. For example, today we are going to repeat vocabulary about, I don't know, maybe school. You can also write down the core vocabulary on the blackboard. And the task for students is to use the core vocabulary from the blackboard and write a short story. But students must work not in pairs, but in groups. So you set 3 groups. One group, a bigger group, will work on the story and write the story in present tense, the second group in past, and the third one in future. The last category of activities is using videos. I have prepared two video activities, or activities where you can use videos. The first one is from our book Why the Word. It can be used when you practice past tense with your students. First, I would like to explain the rule. How is it played, okay, or what the students have to do. So first you play the video, and when the father is talking about the past, you have to pause it. So it means that the students have to be creative and to think about his answer. Okay, I don't know if I was clear enough, but I would like to show this activity to you. So maybe it will be better just to practice it. Okay. Play the video. Okay. So I will try it again. Okay.
$12 and you're having breakfast? When I was your age, I got up at 5 o'clock.
When I was at your age, what did I do? So what do you think? What did the father do? So now the students have to be creative. So what do you think? I got up earlier. I got up at 5 o'clock. Okay. Maybe you use our book, I think. Okay, so let's have a look at it.
I got up at 5 o'clock.
Seriously? Did you really get up at 5 o'clock every day?
Yes, I did.
Why did you get up so early?
I had a
Why did you get up so early? Again, yes, I had breakfast earlier, maybe. So the students have to be very creative, and also they have to use the right or correct grammar structure. For homework, you can ask students just to discuss this situation or similar situation with their parents. So they have to ask what they did when they were young and so on. And next time, they can discuss this topic and using, of course, past tense. Okay, so now let's go back to my presentation. Okay, thank you. And the last video I have prepared for you is a funny video. I found this video online, but I think that you can find similar funny videos. There are a lot of. I decided to use videos when there is Mr. Bean. I think that students love videos with Mr. Bean. This video is a good idea for practicing present simple and present continuous. What is the task for students? They have to, so first they watch the video and they have to write down the activity, what Mr. B is doing in the video. Okay, and later on they can again just talk about it using the right structure. Okay, I'm just trying. Okay, action makes perfect. Oh, sorry. Okay, so can you hear me again? Okay, so yes, good, thank you. Because of time, I think that I'm short of time. You can see the link to the video, and after the webinars, after the EduOnline activities, you will get a mail, and you can find the link to the video so you can watch it with your students. Okay, and now just a very short, brief sum up. Today we were talking about grammar jokes, we were talking about grammar, we were talking about some approaches, and I showed some grammar activities to you that might be interesting for you. I hope that you will use some of them. I will be very happy if you send me a mail, your feedback, just after using the activity in the classroom, where the activity is useful or not. Okay, thank you for your attention. Thank you for being active. And now, and now the quiz. Okay, the first question is, which century did the apostrophe come into use? Let's think about it. Which century? Your guess. Which century did the apostrophe come into use? What do you think? Nobody will, oh, okay. 14th century, 14th, 19th. No, I can't see the right answer. Please think about it. No. Okay. Again, something is happening with the internet connection, so I can't see it. Sorry. Sorry, I can't read your answer. Okay, so now, okay, Zuzana Szpaczkova. Okay, I think that she's the first, so it was in 16th century. Okay, and the next question is, the past, the present, and the future walked into a bar. It is a typical English joke, grammar joke. What do you think? What is the word that is missing? Okay, so now I can see your, tense, good, tense, congratulations, Magdalena. It is the end of my webinar. Again, thank you very much for your participation, being active. If you have any questions about the webinar, about the books, wider world, because I told you that I use many activities or just inspiration. Inspiration was taken from the book Wider World. So you can contact my colleague Zuzana Pohlová when you are a teacher from the Czech Republic, or me when you are a teacher in Slovakia. I hope that we spent nice, pleasant, and useful time together. So thank you again very much for participation and coming. Take good care of yourself. Good luck.